I'm going to pretend like you guys asked this question. What about Illustrator? I use Illustrator, and how do I do that? Blah, 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 right? So that's what I'm doing now. I'm in Illustrator. I have whatever I have drawn, right? This is all vector. I'm copying it, jumping into Photoshop, pasting that as a shape layer, sure, right? There it is, right? There's the, cover. Looks good, right? Let's extrude that. Jumping over there, 3D panel. And it's that same process, guys. Create, and then just being aware of that thickness, right?
We do have some questions from online. Beverly wants to know, can you use Maya for the 3D car? Could you do that?
Yes, you can. Yeah. Well, and this is the short of it. Around.
You don't have to show it. You could just explain it if you want.
Yeah, the only thing I was going to show him is that show him these file types. Because essentially, if Maya or whatever other program can kick out any one of these file types, then you're good to go. And trust me, like this is your Universal 3D, your 3D Studio Max file, your STL. These are all really popular formats. OBJ, right? I'm not sure what file format Maya is, but I'm sure it can export out any one of those, right? And again, even if you did texturing in that 3D program, those textures will come in as well, and then you can continue to work on, which is what I did with that character. I did some work in Cinema 4D, brought him in, and then I did the candy corn hair, if you will, and yeah, so that's how that works. So again, just to kind of step ahead a little bit, because I didn't, you guys didn't need to see me extrude this a third time and watch me fiddle it into place, but I'm just showing you that right here, this design, again, is just based on, hold on, yeah, there we go. This design is really just something that I've pasted from Illustrator. So if I click Edit Source, you can see it right there, right? There it is. And I can start to fiddle with this some more if I want to, tighten it up, and edit it all I want. And then as I do that editing, and when I'm done, I just close it. And that's, again, part of that particular design. So this again is the extrusion I'm working on, right? Pretty simple. 0.1 centimeters is how much it's extruded. I then went in and I said, okay, I'm going to go get 3D content. I found that bumper from Thingiverse, loaded it in, right? So I said, okay, let's grab that file, dropping it in there. And once I have those two layers in this case, right? Taking those two, merging them together, merge 3D layers, and now they're part of the same world. Okay, so we can see them. Let's turn off that frame, but this is the one that I've just imported, and you can see it right here, and I can start to sort of like move it around into place and resize it and all that fun stuff, right? Resize it and get it just like that, right? From there, and this will be the last thing I do, but I've been known to say that a couple times. Detail plastic, let's make it red. Wait for it. Coral red. Clicking print, and you'll see that in a second. So you'll see how it'll do this repairing for all these little details, right? You'll see the price as well will be like $20-ish, right? That will come through. I just hit escape, and even if I go to the MakerBot replicator, yes, I'm gonna show you what the scaffolding looks like, just so you know, but it's gonna add in that scaffolding if I have a local printer. Hey guys, something new that I was holding out on you, right? Because check this out, like we have seen really one color that you're able to pick from when we're doing this stuff, right? One color. But Photoshop, to my knowledge, is pretty much the only tool that can do a multi-tone. So basically, we're in the black and white stages of 3D printing. One color, right? But we're going to get into the multicolor, so multiple materials, to where it's still that plastic, but it's like multiple materials that you can actually print with. It's called multi-tone, right? And that's actually an experimental feature that you could turn on in Photoshop. So honestly, like I know, guys, I work for Adobe, but I honestly think that like we are so ahead of the curve, like it's crazy that we have this technology in there that we can use. So check this out. Like here's a case where you can see that scaffolding right there. That gets put in there. And then what do I have to do? I have to potentially break that off. Based on that printer, by the way. But I have to jump in there. It gets done printing. I just break them off and call it a day. But you can even see the inside lip. So right, as a modeler, I'd want to maybe decide if I want to adjust my design based on the number of scaffolding things that are in there. Look at that. Because again, I didn't make that bumper thing, but that's what happens with it. And I can export that. I could always save that for later, call it a day. You guys get the idea. And lastly, preferences, 3D. There's that. Let's go to experimental features. Enable multi-tone printing. Awesome. Anyways, I'm getting really excited about that, by the way. I'm trying not to lose my mind right now because I want to go down that rabbit hole, but being able to select and have those multiple colors for whatever you're picking up, or making. So, I guess feeling good? Do you feel empowered?
Yeah.
Do you feel ready to like make stuff and show it off to your friends and like you be that person with the gold-plated iPhone case? Oh yeah, that's not going to get stolen. You're like walking down the street. Oh, so go ahead and steal me. But you could be that guy. Or if you want to be a king for a minute in the morning, drinking out of your gold cup, which I kind of dig that as well.
That's pretty cool. We have some questions, Paul, from online. So one question came in about printing a model that's bigger than like maybe a MakerBot could do. So if you wanted to, is there any way to do segments of a project and then assemble it at the end, or?
Yeah, yes, there is. And depending on how you put it together, you definitely can. So there's even a feature in Photoshop. If you go to 3D, you have, let's see if I had multiple objects, but here we go. I mean, this might be kind of around what you're talking about, but if you put together a complex model and you have all these different parts, like you can always assemble that later, and I wish I had an example of it here, but you can take all those various objects that make up that thing and put it all on the ground plane within that space that it's going to print on. So that's what I would do in that case. But definitely like stages is what you're going to have to do there.
Awesome. How do you smooth off areas after you break off that scaffolding? So do you use like a X-Acto knife or? Like
a little Dremel.
Okay.
A little Dremel. Just use a little Dremel and trim it up. And cool. I've tried everything, but I think a Dremel is best.
And is a person able to give the printer a specific color? Say if I have a certain Pantone color I'd like to use, can they print that?
When it comes to the 3D, when it comes to the sandstone, it's basically a CMYK printer.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure how you get, how that translates, but it's exactly as your inkjet printer works. The sandstone works the same way. It injects the color at the time it's making it.
Cool.
And that's how that's done.